Today, we are talking about the power it takes to build a massively successful company that continues to grow. And when I'm talking about power, I'm not talking about the kind of power you probably think I am talking about. There is a big difference between the power it takes to be successful in business repeatedly and long term, and just the power it takes to hustle and make some money. You can hustle your way to success. Let me be very clear. But you cannot hustle your way to consistent success with hyper growth. When you are someone who does not have the things we're going to be talking about in this video and the things that you really need to master, and what I encourage you is as you're hearing me talk, look at what I'm talking about, the space you are now and the gaps and what you need to fill in the blank. And if you really love this conversation, empowered leadership is the space for us to deepen this conversation. At the moment of this video, Empowered Leadership is free to join. It will be becoming a paid program. So if you're catching this video a couple of weeks from now, it may be paid at this point. But either way, Empowered Leadership is really diving into this, the actual work that it takes to become the woman or the person who can hold massive success, repeated success with hyper growth. And that's a special kind of person. Not everybody can handle it. For those of you who are new to this channel and don't know me, hi, I'm Sarah Dumas. I have scaled 10 companies to a minimum of $30 million per year. One of those companies we scaled to $1 billion per year. Every time I'm talking about numbers, I am always talking about per year revenue because there seems to be a trend, and I encourage you, whoever you're following and listening to for business advice, always listen to how they talk about business. There seems to be this trend going on that people will say things like, I scaled a $50 million company. And what they're actually talking about is $50 million over the past 10 years combined. Not that that's not impressive. It is. It's great. It's still business success. It's not my style of talking about business. I look at business and true metrics of success based off of what the company is doing per year and the trajectory of continued growth that that company has experienced. When you're looking at cumulative growth, there's a lot of things that can hide there. And it's actually pretty manipulative, in my opinion, to share a cumulative number when you're talking about business. So when I say $30 million, I mean at the time that I left that company, sold that company, it was doing $30 million per year. When I'm talking about $1 billion, I'm saying when I left that company, it was doing $1 billion per year. I'm always talking about per year. So we will dig into why I talk about that. I'll make that another video. That's not really the topic that we're diving into. But for those of you who are new here, I just want to make this very clear. The amount of power that it takes to build a massively successful company and also do this with repeated success and also do this in a way where a company grows like this and not looking like a heart attack is massive. It is very different from how most people build business. And this is exactly why most people crash and burn. They either burn the business, and this is why most companies don't make it past the 5 or 7 year mark, or they crash and burn themselves, or they crash and burn their personal life. And I don't know about you, but I didn't get into business to crash and burn myself or my personal life or my business. I am a want to have my cake and eat it too, right? That's one of my slogans. And I love this because it really goes against what mainstream teaches. And honestly, being someone who actually has been in the trenches, actually has built brick and mortar corporations, I can tell you firsthand what we're talking about today in this whole power conversation is the actual work. Everything else is noise and distraction. And when you focus on just the strategy, just chasing the money, just chasing the sales, just building it out, you will eventually crash and burn one of those three things: yourself, your personal life, or your business. I have seen this time and time and time and time and time again, sitting across the table from millionaires and billionaires who were on their fourth, fifth marriage, don't have a relationship with their kids, are, numbing themselves and partying on the weekends and things like that. Meanwhile, they're in their 50s. Like, all of these things happen because when we're in the chase of money and we're not in our power while doing it, those things can't coexist. You have to be the person first that can even hold the level of empire that you want to build. Through my 15 years of building businesses, at that entire time, I have also been a wife and mom. So I've been a wife, I've had, birthed my children, I've raised my children, all through the same time of scaling multiple companies. And usually I'm scaling multiple companies at one time, which this is an art, right? So considering the fact that I have gone through the fire and learned lessons the very hard way on how to actually do this and be the person, this is why I'm saying it's this identity piece that really comes first. And again, I have seen this time and time again, not only with my own clients, with my own life, with business partners and all of the things. I've really seen the in-depths of building a business and what it takes. And so I don't say any of this lightly. None of this is fluff. This is all tried and true, and really at the core of the level, what it really takes. Oftentimes when we are the CEO and we're building business, we think we can just out hire our own leadership. And while that can be true, and I am all about hiring people who are smarter than you because it will get you there faster. But the thing and the core of it is you are the CEO. You are the visionary. You are the leader. You are the decision maker. You are wearing that hat, right? So you have to be rock solid in your own leadership. You have to become a person that can handle negative things happening, a massive contract falling through and not working out, a team member up and quitting on you, just whatever you can think of, the worst case scenario happening in your business. You have to be able to handle that with a clear, level head. You cannot be a leader who is swept into the chaos and freaking out along with your team. This does not work. You have to be able to literally have the world burning around you and you be the one person in the room who has a level head, a voice, who can calm people down, sit them down and say, we're going to figure this out. And if you cannot be that person, or you are not that person right now, it does not matter how great the people you are that you hired. They will leave. It's inevitable. Because people who are rock stars in what they do, who are leaders, who know exactly what their zone of genius is, they want to be with a CEO, a visionary, a founder who is rock solid in their own zone of genius, which I hate to break it to you, but despite your background, no matter what, if you're the CEO, the founder, visionary, all that, your number one thing that you need to have a zone of genius in is being a leader. Not sales, not science, not whatever your degree is in, not public relations, not whatever. You have to be a leader first. Without that, you have a company that is directionless. You have a company that the day that 3 people bring in their resignation all at the same time, you're freaking out right along with your other managers or your other leaders in your business. What are we doing? In that moment, you have to be the person that's like, hey, calm down, everybody. Don't worry. We got this. Let's sit down. Let's talk about this. Let's come up with a plan. Let's bring solutions to the table, not panic. But what's happening is you saying you're in your power because you've got your CEO hat on. You're loud, you're disruptive, you're making decisions, you're excited about the future, you're following all these things that are coming. You're trying to own the hat of the decision maker, the visionary, all of that, but you're failing at being able to be rock steady when the world is in chaos. You're still getting triggered by your clients defaulting on their payment plans. You're still getting triggered by that large contract that didn't sign and go through. You're still getting triggered by that expert you tried to hire that said no because your salary offer was too low. You're still getting triggered by that argument you had with your spouse this morning. You're still getting triggered by the fact that you're sitting at your desk at 10, 11 o'clock at night while your kids are sleeping when you really deep down just want to be able to be a present parent when you're spending time with your family, but you can't because your mind's on business, a million things that are going on. And you're calling it power and you're saying you're in your power. You're not. Power is not loud. Power is not respect me. Don't you know what I've done? I'm the CEO. You have to listen to me. You have to respect me. These are my ideas. This is my company. That is not power. That's actually weak leadership. Power is your whole team resigning the same day and it literally does not rock you. Power is you having to have a difficult conversation with a client or a customer who stepped out of bounds of the contract, who's not respecting the contract, and you being able to lead that and them saying nasty things back to you and it not fazing you. Leadership is delivering to your clients and customers what you said you were going to deliver to them in the first place and not having to have your clients or customers chase and follow you up. Leadership is being able to walk into the door of your own home and saying, I'm going to spend time with my family and actually be present at dinner tonight, and your mind actually being there and not on the 20 other things going on. Leadership is getting up and making the difficult decisions and doing the things, even though deep down you really hate that you even have to do it in the first place. But you know it's for the best of the company. Leadership is turning down opportunities that you know are not in alignment with where the company is going, where you are going as a CEO, no matter how bright and shiny and big the number is that's in front of you to say yes. That's leadership. Not what mainstream the world says is leadership, which is this big, proud, look at me, don't you know what I've done? Where's the respect? Nobody owes you respect. Nobody owes you anything. You have to become the person who commands that respect just based off of who you are being. Not because you're posturing, not because you're throwing your title in there, but because of how you're holding yourself in these moments, how you're holding yourself in these conversations, how you're holding yourself in the room, how you react when somebody says no to you, how you react when somebody dangles a shiny carrot in front of your face. That is true leadership. That is what gets you the hyper growth at hyper speed done correctly. That's what gets you the experts who are knocking on your door, begging to work for your company. That's how you get the clients who want to spend 10 times the amount with you than that dangly carrot was that you said no to that was out of alignment. That's how you get that. That's how you walk into a room and without you even having to say a word, somebody's like, who is that? I need to hire them. I need to figure out, I need to work with them They're just attracted to who you are because you're showing up in that energy, because you're exuding leadership, not because of anything you say or the type of attitude you have or how you talk crap about people. That's not power. That's literally weak leadership. Power is rooted, and that's true strength. And people are naturally attracted to your power without you having to tell them you hold the power. If you have to tell somebody who you are for them to respect you, if you have to throw a title out there or your accolades or whatever, you don't actually have power. You just think you do. But it will all crumble when push comes to shove, because building a massively successful company with speed and accuracy is not for the faint of heart. It just gets to remain that fairy tale vision that you desire. But to actually execute that, you have to become the person who can even hold that first. So comment below. Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this conversation, follow for more. I hope you subscribe to this page. If you want to go more in depth into exactly becoming the woman who can hold this level of power, this is where empowered leadership is the space for you to join next. I'll see you soon.